Welcome. So this is video 1.2. So what I would do is in your notes is I would label at the very top saying 1.2 points, lines, and planes. Especially with the first couple lessons that we have right here, there's going to be a lot of vocab. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to write down, a lot of really important terms that we're going to keep using. So I will go kind of fast, and anytime you can always pause it, write down what I have, and then unpause it. But I'll go a little bit quicker than you'll be writing. So you can always pause the video at any time and have that at the top. The first thing that we are going to write is we're going to write, unfortunately, all this box down. So this is a really important box where we have everything in these three things. So this whole thing, anytime you see take a note, usually we're always writing that down in our notes. So again, I'll go through it really quick right now, but you can pause the video and write this down and make sure you have the pictures as well. So three really key terms for geometry is a point, a line, and a plane. So a point, it is not like an actual shape. All it is it's indicating a location. Usually when we are labeling, we have a capital letter right there, and a point looks like right there. So it's not an actual like thing, it's just a location of where a specific thing is. A line, though, is a straight path to opposite sides, and it contains infinitely many points. So you have these 2 points that you have right here, and the line goes on forever and ever through those 2 points. The way we label it, the way we label a line is we label it capital letters through the 2 points it goes through. So we label it AB with the little line above it with 2 arrows going in both places because it goes on forever and ever. And the last one is a plane right here. A plane is a flat surface that extends without end. So you can think of a plane, let's see if I have it, like a piece of paper. A plane is basically like a piece of paper that we have right here, and within the paper there are infinitely many lines that we could draw within this plane. The plane itself does not have thickness, and the way we label a plane is with all capital letters, and it says, well, at least 3 points in the plane that do not all lie on the same line, so they're non-collinear, which we're going to talk about right now. But that's what a plane is right here. Again, we have infinite many points, and we could draw infinite many lines within there, and so that is what a plane is. So let's talk about some other key terms. Again, you can pause it, write this down real quick, make sure you have everything inside this box. Alright, the next thing that we're going to write down is you're just going to write down these 2 sentences right here. Really important, we're going to talk about collinear points. So collinear points go through the same line. So if you look right here, here's a line right here, and there are 3 points on the line, R, Q, and S. Those 3 points we say are collinear. They're all on this same line that we have right there. The other word that we have is coplanar, and they are points and lines that lie in the same plane. So again, we could say R, V, and Q, those are all within that same plane. Now if you look at this picture right here, do you see how P doesn't have like a point to it? So this isn't a point P, this is just, we'd call this the plane P. So it's labeling that we have right there. And then if you see this line that we have right here, this line that goes through the actual plane, it would be like a line that's shooting right through it, and we see how T is point T and this point N right there, those aren't inside the plane right there. We would say that those are not coplanar then. They do not lie within the plane. So all the points that are coplanar. N and T, we would say, are not coplanar. Okay, cool, keep going. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to write down is, let's have you write down everything inside this box right here, this key concept right here. So another 3 terms. One is a segment. A segment has 2 endpoints that we have right here. So that means it stops. So unlike a line where a line just keeps going on and on forever, a segment will stop at 2 points that we have right here. And again, the way we label it right here, we label it AB or BA. The order in a segment doesn't matter right over here, but again, we're just going to have a line over the top. Now, the difference between remember how we labeled a line though, If it was a line, we label it with the two arrows. If you just draw a single line with no arrow, this is a segment right here. This would be a line. So it's important how we label stuff that we have right here. The next thing that we have is what is called a ray. A ray has one endpoint, so it stops at one point, and then the portion goes on forever. So if you look right here, we start at A, and then we go through B, and then there's a line. So the order does matter on how we label it. So you always start where the point is. So we start with A, and then it goes on to B, so we would label it like this. So it starts here, and it goes through B, and that's the way we label a ray, one endpoint. Now we have the next one. It's called opposite rays. So you're thinking, well, like, look at this picture that we have right here, and this picture did get cut off. It should look like this with an arrow that we have right there. It's just a line, all that is. But what we can see though is that there are two opposite rays where they share the same endpoint. So if I were to draw something, if I looked at just this portion that we have right here, let's see if I can draw a little straight, that would be a ray where it had an endpoint. So we could say CA would be a ray, but also if I drew another endpoint and if it went this way, and again, it should be going straight that we have right here. If I start at C and go through B, that is another ray right there. So all it is it shares the same point. One ray goes this way, the other ray goes that way, but yet it's still just a line. So it could also be called an opposite ray that we have right there. Cool. Again, I know I'm going quick. You can pause this anytime you need to be able to write this stuff all down. A lot of vocab in this first lesson that we have. Alright, the next thing that we have right here is we're going to write down just this first sentence where it says a postulate or an axiom is an accepted statement of fact. That's all you got to write down is that first thing. And I did a really terrible job of underlining that right here. But a postulate, so it's just like, it's a statement that we just always accept to be true. Like, and we don't, eventually we're going to get to like theorems and stuff where we are actually going to prove things. But when it gives you a postulate or an axiom, we just say this is a true fact. We're always going to take this as a truth, and we don't need to prove it any further. So popular and geometry, and there's a couple of these that we're going to use and write them down. So the first one that we're going to do is you're going to write down everything inside this first one. And again, when we are looking at these postulates or axioms, we don't remember them by the names, we just kind of remember them by what they say. So the first one is that through any 2 points, there is exactly one line. So again, if I go through these 2 points, we're going to make just one line. So that's just an axiom. We take that as a statement of truth that we have right there. We don't need to write this down, but obviously when we have 2 lines that come together, we cause an intersection. Pretty straightforward. If 2 distinct lines intersect, then they intersect at exactly 1 point. We don't need to write that down. I think that seems like pretty common knowledge. We have 2 points. They're obviously going to come together at exactly 1 point. 2 lines come together exactly at 1 point. Don't write that one down. Pretty simple. We should be able to know that. The next one, this one is an important one, so make sure that you write down everything inside. This box that we have right here is if 2 distinct planes intersect, then they intersect in exactly 1 line. So see, we have this blue plane and this yellow plane. They come, they are intersecting. They're intersecting at 1 line that we have right here. And again, do you see how we will label it? We have 2 points S and we have point T, so it crosses, it intersects at line ST. And again, when it's a line, we put the little arrows over the top. That's an important one that we're definitely going to be referencing quite a bit. And we have one more, and the last one is, last vocab, and a lot of vocab again, is right here. And it says through any 3 non-collinear points, they're exactly 1 plane. So if we look at this, remember, non-collinear means that they're not all in 1 line that we have right here. And again, if I'm looking at this example, and again, I would always draw these pictures that we have right here. Q, R, and S, there's no way we can make a straight line out of there. So we would say that one way we could label this plane is you could label it two ways. You could label it as plane, and again we use capital letters Q, R, and S. So that's one way that we could label the plane. And you see how, again, we had in another example, we have this P right here in the bottom left. There's no point to it. So the other way we could label this plane would be plane P. Either one of these would be acceptable. Those are two ways that we name actual planes. Okay, so a lot of vocab. Let's just go through just a couple quick problems, and then we're done. Alright, so here we go. Our first problem, make sure you write the question down and draw the picture that we have right here. So it says, really, we're just kind of naming stuff. So what are two other ways to name QT? So again, the line QT, see how it has arrows on it? If you can see, there are two arrows that we have right here. So if I have QT that we have right here, what are two other ways? Well, again, do you see how Q and T, that there is N as well on there? So one way I could label it would be QN. So let's do QN, and again I would do a line over the top with two arrows right here. That would be one way to label it. The other way is I could do TN. TN that I have right here with an arrow over the top. Those are two ways. If you said NQ, it'd be the same exact thing. So if I said, what's another way? TQ, well, that's the same thing, you just have them flipped. Again, order doesn't matter on a line. And then the last way, if you wanted to, if you see how we have this little M right here next to it, again, points are always going to be capitalized. This little M right here is just saying another what? Another way we could say that is we could say it is line M. So those would be three ways when you see that little lowercase m right there, line M. This one right here, if we were labeling that line, see how the L is lowercase, we would say that would be line L. That'd be one way to label it without points. Alright, here we go. Next one. Write the question and the picture. It says, ray EF and ray FE form a line. Are they opposite rays? So again, remember, the rays, how we label it is we start at E and we go to F. So, well, let's just draw it here. If we start at E right here and we go through F, that is what that ray looks like. And the other one says that we start at F. So we start at F and we go to E. So it says, are these right here, are these opposite rays? No, they're not. So remember, an opposite ray looks something like this, where we have one ray, it goes right here, the other ray goes right here, and they share a common point that we have right there. So if we were to explain this, we would say, right here we'd say not opposite rays. Why? Because they do not don't share the same endpoint. Okay, again, if we look right here, they don't have that same endpoint. They don't both go to the same endpoint and go right there. It doesn't look something like this picture, so those right there would not be opposite rays. Alright, so it says, what are, next one, write the question and the picture. Again, kind of hard drawing this picture, do the best you can. It says, what are the names of the two planes that intersect in BF, line BF? So again, line BF, if I were to draw a line, there's a line that we have right here. And remember, when two planes intersect, they cross at a line. So if I were to use, say, two different colors, let's say here is one plane that looks like, if I were to draw that, there's one plane that touches that line, and then another one that we have right here is you see this other plane that comes and crosses it. So we have these two planes that we have right here. They come and they intersect at exactly the line BF. So all we have to do is just name these two planes. And remember, when we name a plane right here, we just name three non-collinear points. And so we can name anything. So if I'm looking at this blue one that I have right here, I could say there are a lot of different options. And again, all four of these points, A, B, F, and E, they aren't on a straight line. So again, I can use any of them. I could say AEB, I could say AFB, I could say BEA. Any of those ones are fine. let's just say I say plane ABF. ABF. So there's that blue plane. The other plane that intersects is this red one that we have right here. Again, they both come together at this line. And again, a lot of different options I could say, but I will just call this plane, any one of these four. Let's say I do BCG. BCG. Okay? And again, that was one of our postulates. When two planes intersect, they intersect at exactly one line. Our line was BF. All we do is name the planes. Cool? Alright, and our last one right here, problem number 4. It says, again, draw a picture, write the question. What planes contain points N, P, and Q? Shade the plane. So, here's point N that we have right here. Whoa, that's a highlighter. I wanted a pen, make it a little bit smoother. Let's do this. Yeah, it'll be a lot better. So here's point N that we have right here. Point N. We have point P that we have right here, and we have point Q. So again, those are not on a line, so they are non-collinear. And what plane do they have? Well, again, these three right here would make this bottom plane that we have right here. That's what we would name the bottom plane that we have right there. Shaded in, just like that. So again, looking at those three, we can see it was talking about the bottom plane. Again, anytime we name a plane, we just need to name 3 non-collinear points that are on it. Cool. We made it. We survived. Video number 1, we did it. Tons of vocab. You guys do great. Again, we'll review all this stuff in class to make sure that you guys got it. We'll be good to go. All right. See you guys soon.